A blank page. It's a familiar and terrifying sight for anyone who has to write. Maybe you're working on an essay, or embarking on your thesis, or writing your first nonfiction book. It's a thrilling task, but also daunting. Where to begin? What to say? And even if you do make a solid start, how do you develop your argument into a compelling whole? These are tough questions. And though there's no simple answer to any of them, there is a method that can help you arrive at an answer. You guessed it, Smart Notes. Let's get things started with a remarkable tale, the unlikely story of Nicholas Luhmann. Luhmann was a German man who, in the 1960s, worked in an administration office. His leisure-time passion was reading. As he read, he made notes on things that interested him: philosophy, organizational theory, sociology. He made these notes on small pieces of paper, which he then systematically numbered before filing them in a Zettelkasten, or slipbox. Eventually, he put some of his thoughts into a paper and presented it to an influential German sociologist. Impressed, the sociologist invited Luhmann to become a professor of sociology at the University of Bielefeld. Now, Luhmann had neither a doctorate nor a sociology degree. But instead of declining the invitation, he got to work. He took sociology classes and put his thesis together in less than a year. In 1968, he became a sociology professor at Bielefeld, a position he held until his death. Many people regarded Luhmann as a genius. But studies of his methods show that his success wasn't the result of an inordinately vast intelligence. It was the result of smart working. Luhmann knew exactly how to use his notes, which allowed him to remain focused and in control. What exactly was Luhmann's process? Well, as he himself said, I, of course, do not think everything by myself. It happens mainly within the slipbox. Luhmann had two slipboxes. One was for collecting references and his notes on the contents of books. The other, his main slipbox, was for storing notes and ideas. What kind of notes should you be making, and how should you store them? The first kind of notes you should take are fleeting notes. Fleeting notes don't go in a slipbox, they're simply for capturing ideas and thoughts. You can take them in a notebook, on a scrap of paper, or wherever works for you. Keep these notes in one place so you can go through them later. Then, there are literature notes, notes about what you read. While you're reading, write down things you don't want to forget along with reference details. Your notes should be short and in your own words. These go into your reference slipbox, the first of the two slipboxes, and then there are permanent notes. These will arise from your fleeting and literature notes, which you should go through regularly, preferably daily. As you review your notes, ask yourself what's relevant to your own ideas, your research, and your interests. Write one permanent note for each idea using full sentences in your own words. The aim is not to copy, it's to create something new. Be as precise and concise as you can, and don't forget to include your sources. You can throw away your fleeting notes after you've made permanent ones. File your new permanent notes in your slipbox behind one or more existing notes. Let's say you need to write a paper. Thanks to your notes, you don't have to start with a blank sheet of paper. Your slipbox provides you with a ready-made argument, along with quotes, references, and great ideas. All you need to do is present this argument. A little rewording here, a little editing there, and you'll be ready to submit it. Getting to this point takes time, though. You'll need to have built up your notes while you're reading, thinking, and generating ideas and arguments. Externalizing your ideas by writing also helps you understand and remember what you've been reading. Anthony Trollope, the 19th century author, was both popular and productive. According to his autobiography, he wrote at least 250 words every 15 minutes from 5:30 a.m. until 8:30 a.m. This enabled him to complete 49 novels over 35 years. An enviable feat, the thought of completing a dissertation or similarly long academic text can be quite daunting. Yet a regime of writing a page a day, with one day off each week, seems manageable, and it's a much less ambitious pace than Trollope's. At that rate, a doctoral thesis would actually be completed within a year. Now, in reality, that rarely happens. Sadly enough, over half of doctoral theses remain unfinished. Non-fiction and academic papers, of course, aren't written in the same way that Trollope wrote his novels. There's reading, research, and thinking to be done in addition to the writing itself. So perhaps measuring your progress on a page-per-day basis isn't appropriate to the task. Perhaps a better metric is notes per day. Here's a pearl of wisdom from Benjamin Franklin, read with a pen in hand. And, while reading, enter in a little book short hints of what you feel that is common or that may be useful. Luhmann certainly adopted this approach. As he read, Luhmann always had pen and paper close at hand. In addition to noting key ideas from the book on his index cards, he'd jot down bibliographical details on the reverse of the cards. After finishing a book, he'd go back through these ideas and see what was relevant to his existing notes. Think back to your school days. Did you ever cram before a test? Hastily rereading texts in the hope that some of it would stick might have enabled you to retain enough information to pass the test, but it didn't help you learn anything in the long term. Actually, if long-term retention was your goal, you might have been better off playing ping pong. Exercise is an effective knowledge retention aid for two reasons. First, it helps you transfer information to your long-term memory. And, by reducing stress, it also reduces the hormones that suppress learning. So, if you want to learn something, should you simply play more ping pong? Maybe, but what's actually key to improving your learning is elaboration. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and stay tuned for more book discussions.